Jay, just about the denial.
Yep.
Big voice.
About the denial?
Yes. I know that I'm in denial because I'm afraid of what I'm trying to look at.
Yep.
I know it's there, and I'm trying to get out of being afraid to look at it, but it sort of goes around in circles, meaning I'm afraid, I deny, don't deny, try to look at it, afraid, and then it just keeps going like that, and I know it is there because of the issues around me, but to get out of that cycle is very difficult.
Yeah, this is something myself and Mary were talking about a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? What the question was how do I get out of this cycle of having all of this fear and then going into denial because of my fear, and then getting out of the denial phase and recognising my fear, and then because the fear is so great I get back in my fear again, and I just stay in this cycle of continuously, if you like, feeling fear but never getting beyond that place. How many of you have felt that with some of your emotions? So it's quite a big feeling. I got no idea. No, Jen? I have got no idea, but that's it.
At first there was a concept for me of love, of what love is, and not knowing. It has to do with what this lady's talking about.
Yeah.
I knew that love existed, but it just didn't exist in me.
Yeah.
So I kept that focus on that noble thing.
And that's
that
hard.
love is that love is the answer. And I kept that focus upon love, even though I couldn't exactly even conceptualize it.
Yep.
It was so foreign to me.
Yep.
Somehow in keeping that intention, focus, I don't know what the word is,
Yep.
feeling it, desire for it, that broke my cycle from fear and around, and then love became real for me. Love for me became real.
That's it.
Love for Graham became real. Love for other people, it became real. It just grew like an entity, and it broke me out of
that fear cycle.
That I'd identified with absolutely all my life.
Yeah. So did everyone hear that? Like, you want me to explain what happened there? What Jen has found, and this is what pretty much everybody has found who's got themselves out of that fear cycle, is that there has to be something greater than your fear. And what's greater than your fear? Well, when we start in the fear cycle, it's not. Is it? That's why we're in the fear cycle. So the love isn't greater than the fear when you begin. But there's a few things to focus on as qualities. The key thing is to become focused at the heart level, and this is a switch within you, by the way. You will find this switch within you, where you no longer focus on your fear and live in it. But rather what you start doing is you start focusing on your desire. You might not have love and truth yet, but at least you have a desire for love and truth. Right? And you can start focusing a lot of your intention and a lot of your prayer and a lot of your longing on developing your desire for greater things other than your fear. Do you remember some time ago I mentioned that there are basically three scales, I suppose you could say, happening within you emotionally? I remember I drew some scales, and two of them, I don't know if you remember them, but one was the truth scale, right, where you have the truth, or I actually put truth at the bottom, I think. So I'll do that. So that would be error, that's the opposite of truth, yes? And then I had a pain scale. Remember that? And remember how I said that if the pain is lower than the error, then the pain will never be, the error will never be released. And then I said if the pain gets greater than the error, then you'll start releasing. Of course, if you focus on truth, that brings your error focus right down to zero, if you like, which means that you'll begin experiencing your pain automatically. And in fact, you'll get to a point where you don't even have to be conscious of experiencing it. It just flows out of you just like a child. The only reason why it doesn't is because our concept, we're holding on to errors and we are not allowing ourselves to actually understand truth or feel about the truth or desire truth because we're so afraid of the pain. Right? So we become so focused on the pain and we forget that there is other things, those three other things that I listed. There's love, truth, and what was the third thing? Desire. And other things too, of course. So desire, firstly work on your desire. Pray about your desire. Long to God that it be different than what it is, if you feel that you're stuck in a fear cycle. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. Millie?
Okay, I had to explain to me another way,
Yep.
as in, like the big forest of all the yucky emotions, and it's really deep and dark and yucky, and you're stuck in there,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you come across like a beam of light, and in there is this little plant that is hope and truth and love.
Yeah.
And it is there and it's strong and it's still, it's like...
It's alive.
All this stuff,
Yeah.
all this negative, horrible stuff, but it is still strong, it has still got some life and it is surviving.
Yeah. And we need to then focus our attention on that, rather than focusing our attention on the forest of pain and fear and all that. Focus our attention on the part that is good. But I don't mean deny the emotion. I mean focus your intention on that. Remember that these things are like that you can feel desire for things that you are not yet experiencing. And you can stay focused on that. That's the only way I've survived this whole process myself, is by doing that. Because I've had no one to cheer me up on my processing. So, I've had to stay really, really focused on this thing that I badly, badly want and let that desire grow.